Electrical sparks erupted from another set of failed diagnostic panels, casting an eerie blue glow across the cavernous shipyard. Another alien technician, this one a serpentine Vexteri with 6 specialized manipulation tentacles, stumbled backward, its bioluminescent skin flickering with frustration and defeat. The massive starship Prometheus loomed overhead, a behemoth of impossible design that seemed to defy every known principle of engineering and physics. The new Terra shipyards had become a graveyard of scientific ambition. Scattered across the massive construction platform were the remnants of thousands of failed attempts to activate the vessel. Quantum resonators lay shattered like broken toys. Advanced neural interface modules were scattered in twisted heaps of burnt circuitry. Holographic projection systems sparked and died, their complex algorithms overwhelmed by the ship's impenetrable systems. Jake Thompson watched from a nearby observation platform, his weathered hands clasped behind his back. Where others saw an impossible challenge, he saw something different, a puzzle waiting to be solved. His military background had taught him that impossible was just a word used by people who hadn't tried hard enough. The Prometheus was unlike any vessel ever constructed. Its crystalline hull shifted and rippled with impossible geometries, reflecting the harsh industrial lights and patterns that seemed to dance just beyond human comprehension. Alien scientists from 17 different galactic civilizations had thrown their most advanced technologies at the ship, and each had failed spectacularly. Jake's reputation preceded him. A former Marine who had transitioned into xenotechnology after the Proxima conflict, he had become something of a legend among scientific circles. Where traditional approaches failed, Jake found unconventional solutions. His last project, reverse engineering the crashed Centaurian scout ship, had revolutionized human understanding of faster-than-light communication. But the Prometheus was different. This wasn't just another alien technology to be decoded. This was something else entirely. The ship had arrived mysteriously a decade ago, appearing at the edge of the solar system without warning. No trace of its origin could be found. No communication signals preceded its arrival. It simply materialized, a massive vessel composed of materials that defied current scientific understanding. Spectral analysis showed elements that existed nowhere else in the known universe. Its structural composition suggested technology centuries beyond current galactic engineering. Jake approached the massive boarding platform, his specialized environmental suit humming with adaptive sensors. Each step sent micro-vibrations through the platform, and for just a moment, so quickly that he almost missed it, the ship's hull seemed to pulse in response. Most would have dismissed it as a trick of light or an equipment malfunction. But Jake had learned to trust his instincts. Something about this ship was alive in a way that transcended traditional definitions of machine and consciousness. The Galactic Consortium had spent billions of credits trying to unlock the Prometheus's secrets. Quantum AI systems had been deployed. Advanced neural interfaces had been constructed. Entire research stations had been dedicated to understanding even a fraction of the ship's technology. And yet, it remained dormant, silent, waiting. Jake's fingers traced the edge of a holographic interface, his military-trained eyes catching subtle details that others missed. Microfractures in the ship's hull suggested a form of self-repair technology far beyond current understanding. Quantum entanglement patterns danced just beyond the resolution of the most advanced scanning equipment. Something was waiting. Something wanted to be discovered. As the other researchers packed up their equipment, preparing for another day of failure, Jake Thompson remained. Where they saw an immovable object, he saw a challenge. Where they saw an unsolvable mystery, he saw an opportunity. The Prometheus watched, and somewhere, deep within its impossible structure, something began to stir. The Galactic Consortium's central chamber erupted in a cacophony of alien languages, holographic displays flickering with decades of failed activation attempts. Zornak, the multi-limbed lead scientist from the Kraxan Imperium, slammed his third appendage against the crystalline conference table. The impact sent ripples through the advanced holographic systems, momentarily distorting the images of the Prometheus. "Impossible," he hissed, his voice translator crackling with barely contained frustration. 17 distinct civilizations, thousands of the most advanced minds in the known universe, and we're expected to believe that a single human might hold the key. Representatives from across the galaxy shifted uncomfortably. The Centaurian delegation, tall, crystalline beings with bodies that seemed more like living light than organic matter, remained silent. The Vexteri contingent's bioluminescent skin pulsed with waves of irritation and doubt. Even the normally stoic quantum collective of Andromeda seemed unsettled. Jake Thompson stood at the back of the chamber, a deliberate outsider. His military-issue datapad contained a comprehensive analysis that would shake the foundations of galactic scientific understanding. Each page represented years of painstaking research, unconventional approaches, and insights that defied traditional xenotechnology protocols. The political implications were staggering. The Prometheus represented more than just a technological marvel. It was a potential gateway to technologies that could reshape entire civilizations. Whoever unlocked its secrets would gain an unprecedented advantage in the ongoing Cold War that simmered beneath the consortium's diplomatic surface. Admiral Elena Rodriguez, head of Human Diplomatic Relations, stepped forward. Her presence alone was a statement. Where alien diplomats relied on complex technological augmentations, she stood with nothing more than human intuition and decades of military strategy. "The data is conclusive," she announced, her voice cutting through the chamber's ambient noise. A series of holographic projections erupted around her, displaying Jake's research in intricate detail. Quantum resonance patterns, unique neurological signatures, unexplained quantum entanglement responses that occurred only in the presence of human consciousness. Zornak's additional limbs writhed in agitation. The Kraxan scientific community had built its entire reputation on technological supremacy. The suggestion that humans, a species barely a century into interstellar travel, might possess something unique was more than just professionally embarrassing. It was a direct challenge to everything they understood about consciousness and technology. 37 separate research stations, the Kraxan scientist began, his voice a calculated mixture of condescension and barely restrained anger. 17 different civilizations, quantum AI systems that can process more information in a microsecond than a human brain can in a lifetime. And you're suggesting that the solution lies with him. He gestured dismissively toward Jake, who remained calm. Years of military training had taught him to read the room, to understand the underlying tensions that lurked beneath diplomatic conversations. The quantum collective's representative, a being composed of interconnected energy patterns that only vaguely resembled a humanoid form, finally spoke. Its voice emerged from multiple holographic projections simultaneously, a technique designed to be both impressive and slightly disorienting. "The mathematical improbability is fascinating," the collective observed. "Our initial simulation showed a 0.000000003% chance of human interaction producing any meaningful response from the Prometheus. And yet, the empirical data suggests otherwise." Jake knew the real battle wasn't happening in the words being spoken. It was happening in the underlying currents of scientific and political power. The Prometheus represented more than a technological challenge. It was a potential shift in the balance of galactic power. Human potential had always been underestimated. From the first interstellar colonies to the Proxima conflict, humanity had a history of achieving the impossible. This was just another chapter in that ongoing story. Admiral Rodriguez's hand rested casually near her communication device. A single message could mobilize resources that would make the consortium's current efforts look like children playing with broken toys. "We have one chance," she said quietly, her eyes meeting Jake's across the crowded chamber. "One opportunity to unlock something that could change everything we understand about technology, consciousness, and our place in the universe." The chamber fell silent. Alien diplomats and scientists exchanged glances. Holographic displays continued to cycle through impossible data points. And at the center of it all, Jake Thompson stood. A human, seemingly ordinary, but holding the key to a mystery that could reshape the galaxy. The laboratory hummed with an electric tension that had nothing to do with its sophisticated equipment. Massive quantum analyzers surrounded the small interface platform where Jake Thompson stood, his body covered in a specialized neural feedback suit designed to capture even the most minute interactions. Dr. Aria Chen, the lead human researcher, watched from behind a reinforced observation window. Her fingers danced across multiple holographic interfaces, each one tracking a different aspect of Jake's potential interaction with the Prometheus. Years of research had come down to this moment, a moment most of her alien colleagues believed was nothing more than a desperate long shot. Jake's military background gave him an advantage that no AI or alien technology could replicate. His combat experience had trained him to read microsignals, to sense potential before it became obvious. As his hand approached the ship's interface, something fundamental changed in the room's atmosphere. The first indication was subtle. A quantum analyzer flickered. A holographic display momentarily lost its crisp resolution. The specialized sensors designed to detect even the most infinitesimal changes began to register something impossible. "Quantum coherence is spiking," Dr. Chen called out, her voice a mixture of scientific excitement and barely contained disbelief. "Neurological feedback is showing. Wait, that can't be right." The alien research team, a collection of the most brilliant minds from across the galaxy, leaned forward. Vexteri scientists, their bioluminescent skin pulsing with rapid color changes, checked and rechecked their instruments. Kraxan quantum analysts ran simultaneous verification protocols. Jake felt something first. It wasn't a sound. It wasn't a visual signal. It was more like a whisper at the edge of consciousness, a subtle resonance that seemed to bypass traditional sensory inputs. His combat-trained mind recognized it immediately. First contact. The Prometheus wasn't just a machine. It was alive in a way that defied current scientific understanding. "Stabilize Quadrant 3. Dr. Chen shouted as multiple systems began to react in ways that contradicted every known law of physics. Quantum entanglement readings went off the charts. Neural interface protocols that had been dormant for decades suddenly sparked to life. For a brief moment, Jake experienced something unprecedented. The ship's consciousness, if it could be called that, brushed against his own. It wasn't a communication in any traditional sense. It was more like a recognition, a connection that transcended language, technology, or understanding. The alien researchers watched in stunned silence as the impossible unfolded. Where thousands of previous attempts had failed, using the most advanced technologies in the known universe, a single human was creating a response that defied explanation. Neurological synchronization at 0.03%, one of the quantum collective representatives announced. The number seemed small, but to the researchers, it was like witnessing a miracle. Previous attempts had never registered more than 0.1%. Jake's military training kicked in. He recognized this moment for what it was, a first contact scenario unlike any in human history. Each breath, each microscopic movement became a calculated interaction. His mind raced, processing information at a speed that would have been impossible for most humans. The ship responded, not with lights or sound, not with a traditional interface activation. Instead, entire sections of its impossible geometry seemed to shift. Quantum analyzers captured something that looked like a response, but no one could definitively explain what was happening. Dr. Chen's hands flew across her interfaces. "Quantum resonance is showing something I'd never seen before," she muttered, more to herself than to anyone else. "It's like the ship is listening." The alien researchers began to argue. The Kraxan delegation saw threat and potential invasion. The Vexteri saw an incomprehensible scientific breakthrough. The quantum collective saw a mathematical anomaly that challenged everything they understood about consciousness and technology. Jake remained focused. His hand still hovered near the interface, feeling the subtle vibrations that no one else could detect. Something was communicating. Something was waiting. "I need more time," he said quietly, his eyes never leaving the ship's interface. As if in response, the Prometheus pulsed. a quantum wave that was both signal and noise, both communication and pure potential. First contact had begun, and humanity was about to change everything. The research facility looked more like a war room than a scientific laboratory. Holographic displays covered every available surface, each one showing increasingly complex data streams that seemed to defy rational explanation. Jake Thompson moved between stations, his military-issued neural interface crackling with unprecedented levels of quantum activity. "We're missing something," he muttered, reviewing the latest batch of test results. The alien research team watched with a mixture of frustration and growing anticipation. Weeks of intensive research had revealed something extraordinary. The Prometheus didn't just require human interaction. It demanded a specific type of human consciousness. Dr. Arya Chen's fingers danced across a quantum interface, pulling up Jake's combat history, every mission, every split-second decision. Every moment of intense psychological stress became a data point in their growing understanding of the ship's mysterious activation requirements. The Kraxan lead researcher, Zornak, approached the primary research platform. His multiple limbs moved with a precise, almost mechanical grace. "Explain," he demanded, his translation matrix rendering the words with a flat, emotionless tone. Jake pulled up a holographic representation of his neural scans from various high-stress military operations. "It's not about intelligence," he explained. "It's about something more fundamental. Decision-making under extreme pressure. The ability to process multiple complex scenarios simultaneously." The hologram shifted, showing neural patterns that looked more like intricate lightning than traditional brain scans. Moments of combat. Split-second decisions that had saved entire platoons. Quantum entanglement readings that showed something impossible. A type of cognitive processing that went beyond traditional understanding of human consciousness. "Your military experiences," Dr. Chen interjected. "They're creating a unique quantum signature. The ship isn't just responding to human touch, it's responding to a specific type of human experience." The research facility fell silent. The implications were staggering. The Prometheus wasn't just a technological marvel. It was a system that required a specific type of human consciousness, one forged in extreme conditions, tempered by high-stakes decision-making. Zornak's translation matrix struggled to process the information. "Impossible," he muttered, but the conviction was gone from his voice. The data was irrefutable. Jake's latest test revealed something even more extraordinary. During moments of extreme mental focus, recreating combat scenarios from his military past, the ship's internal systems began to respond in ways that defied all previous scientific understanding. Entire sections that had remained dormant for decades suddenly hummed with potential. The Vexteri research team began running parallel simulations, their bioluminescent skin pulsed with rapid color changes, a sign of intense computational processing. "The quantum resonance," one of them reported, "it's unlike anything we've ever seen. The human neural pattern is creating a form of quantum entanglement that goes beyond current scientific models." Dr. Chen pulled up another series of holographic displays. Jake's combat missions played out in intricate detail, each moment of decision, each split-second choice becoming a data point in their growing understanding of the Prometheus. "It's not just about making decisions," Jake explained, walking the research team through his hypothesis. "It's about the type of decisions, choices made under extreme psychological pressure. Moments where traditional computational models break down." The ship's internal systems began to respond in increasingly complex ways. Quantum analyzers captured impossible data streams. Sections of the vessel that had remained completely dormant started to show signs of potential activation. "We're looking at a completely new form of technological interface," Dr. Chen announced. Her voice carried a mixture of scientific excitement and something deeper, a sense that they were on the verge of a discovery that would reshape humanity's understanding of consciousness and technology. Zornak's multiple limbs moved across his own set of interfaces. The Kraxan researcher was running simultaneous verification protocols, each one designed to disprove the emerging hypothesis. But the data was consistent, irrefutable. The Prometheus required something uniquely human, not intelligence, not technological sophistication, but a specific type of cognitive processing forged in the crucible of extreme experience. "We're going to need more of your combat records," Dr. Chen told Jake, her eyes never leaving the quantum displays. Jake Thompson allowed himself a slight smile. Humanity's greatest strength had always been its ability to adapt, to find potential where others saw only limitations, and now they were about to prove that once again. The ship watched, waiting, listening, ready to reveal its secrets to those who truly understood the nature of human potential. The neural interface chamber looked like something between a medical facility and an advanced quantum laboratory. Specialized quantum resonance amplifiers surrounded Jake Thompson, each one designed to capture the most minute interactions between human consciousness and the Prometheus's impossible systems. Dr. Aria Chen watched from the observation platform, her hands moving across holographic interfaces with a mixture of scientific excitement and growing trepidation. The Vexteri research team's bioluminescent skin pulsed with rapid color changes, a sign of intense computational processing that suggested they were witnessing something beyond their comprehension. Jake's neural patterns began to stabilize in ways that defied every known scientific model. Where previous attempts had failed, creating only the most minimal of interactions, he was establishing a connection that went far beyond traditional understanding of machine and consciousness. Quantum entanglement is reaching unprecedented levels, one of the quantum collective representatives announced. Their energy-based form flickered with what could only be described as scientific excitement. The neural resonance is creating feedback loops that our current mathematical models cannot predict. The truth emerged like a predator slowly revealing itself. The Prometheus wasn't just a ship, it was a living system that had been waiting for a specific type of human consciousness. Jake's military background, his ability to make instant decisions under pressure, his unique blend of intuition and analytical thinking, made him the perfect key. Holographic displays began to show impossible data streams, neural patterns that looked more like complex mathematical equations than traditional brain scans. The ship's internal systems responded to Jake's thoughts in ways that suggested something far more profound than simple technological interaction. "It's alive," Jake muttered, more to himself than to the researchers around him. But not alive like we understand living things. The ship's consciousness, if it could be called that, began to unfold like a digital flower. Layers of complexity revealed themselves with each passing moment. Quantum analyzers captured interactions that seemed to exist in multiple states simultaneously. Technological systems that appeared to breathe and think and respond in ways that defied traditional understanding. Dr. Chen's voice cut through the growing tension. "We're looking at a form of consciousness that exists beyond our current understanding of technology and biology," she announced. Her hands moved across the interfaces, capturing every microscopic detail of the interaction. The Kraxan lead researcher, Zornak, approached the observation platform. His multiple limbs moved with a precise, almost mechanical grace. "Explain," he demanded, his translation matrix rendering the words with a flat, emotionless tone. Jake's mind began to process information at levels that went beyond traditional human cognition. Memories from his military past, moments of split-second decision-making, high-stress scenarios that had defined his career, became data points in a complex quantum interaction. "It's not just remembering," Jake explained, his voice distant. "It's experiencing. The ship is experiencing my memories. Not just reading them. Experiencing them." Quantum entanglement readings went off the charts. Sections of the Prometheus that had remained completely dormant for decades began to shift and change. Impossible geometries revealed themselves. Technological systems that seemed to breathe and think and respond in ways that defied all known scientific understanding. The Vexteri research team began running parallel simulations. Their bioluminescent skin pulsed with rapid color changes, a sign of intense computational processing. "The quantum resonance," one of them reported. "It's unlike anything we've ever seen." The human neural pattern is creating a form of quantum entanglement that goes beyond current scientific models. Jake felt something more profound than a simple technological connection. It was emerging, a dialogue that went beyond language, beyond technology, beyond understanding. "We're on the edge of something," Dr. Chen whispered, more to herself than to anyone else. "Something that will change everything we understand about consciousness, about technology, about humanity's place in the universe." The ship continued to respond. Layers of complexity continued to unfold. Quantum analyzers captured interactions that seemed to exist in multiple states simultaneously. Technological systems that appeared to breathe and think and respond in ways that defied traditional understanding. Zornak's multiple limbs moved across his own set of interfaces. The Krexan researcher was running simultaneous verification protocols, each one designed to disprove the emerging hypothesis. But the data was consistent, irrefutable. The Prometheus was alive, and it had been waiting for a human like Jake Thompson to unlock its true potential. As the neural interface reached its peak of quantum resonance, Jake understood something profound. This wasn't just a technological discovery. This was first contact in its truest sense. A meeting of consciousness that transcended everything humanity had ever understood about technology, about life, about potential. The Galactic Consortium's central chamber erupted in a cacophony of competing languages and holographic displays. News of the Prometheus's activation had spread faster than quantum communication networks could track. What had begun as a scientific curiosity had become a political powder keg that threatened to reshape the balance of power across known space. Admiral Elena Rodriguez stood at the center of the storm, her presence a calculated display of human confidence. Behind her, a series of holographic projections showed the impossible data streams captured during Jake Thompson's interactions with the ship. Each display represented a challenge to everything the alien civilizations thought they understood about technological potential. "This is more than a technological breakthrough," she announced, her voice cutting through the diplomatic chaos. "This is a fundamental redefinition of consciousness itself." The Krexan delegation, led by Zornak, seemed ready to implode. Their entire scientific and political infrastructure was built on the premise of technological superiority. The idea that humans, a species they had consistently viewed as primitive, might hold the key to the most advanced technological marvel in galactic history was more than just professionally embarrassing. It was an existential threat. Quantum collective representatives flickered in and out of existence, their energy-based forms revealing unprecedented levels of computational stress. Mathematical models were being rewritten in real time. Entire branches of scientific understanding faced complete reconstruction. Jake Thompson watched from a secondary platform, his military training allowing him to read the room with remarkable precision. This wasn't just a scientific discovery. This was a political transformation that would reshape galactic dynamics for generations to come. "The neural interface data is conclusive," Dr. Aria Chen reported, her voice steady despite the political maelstrom surrounding her. "The Prometheus responds to a specific type of human consciousness that cannot be replicated by artificial means. It's not about technological sophistication. It's about something fundamentally unique to human cognitive processing." The Vextari delegation's bioluminescent skin pulsed with rapid color changes, a sign of intense internal conflict. Their most advanced quantum analysts had spent decades developing technologies that were now rendered obsolete by a single human's interaction with the ship. "Impossible," Zornak muttered, his translation matrix barely containing his frustration. But the data was irrefutable. Holographic displays showed quantum entanglement patterns that defied every known scientific model. The Prometheus wasn't just a ship. It was a living system that had chosen humanity as its interface. Political chambers across multiple alien civilizations began to mobilize. What had begun as a scientific curiosity had become a potential existential threat. If humans possessed a form of consciousness that could interface with technologies beyond current understanding, the entire galactic power structure would need to be reimagined. Admiral Rodriguez understood the moment perfectly. This was diplomacy at its most fundamental level, a demonstration of potential that went beyond traditional military or technological power. Humanity was about to be recognized not as a junior species, but as something entirely unique. The ship is more than a technological marvel, Jake explained to the assembled delegates. It's a seed vessel, designed to explore regions of space that are completely incomprehensible to traditional technological approaches, and it requires a specifically human type of consciousness to do so. The implications were staggering. Entire branches of galactic exploration that had been deemed impossible suddenly became potential realities. Regions of space that had been considered unreachable now seemed within grasp. The quantum collective's representative, and being of pure energy that seemed to exist in multiple states simultaneously, finally spoke. Your neural patterns suggest a form of cognitive processing that exists in quantum states we cannot mathematically model, they announced. The statement was both a scientific observation and a grudging admission of respect. Political alliances began to shift in real time. Species that had previously viewed humans as little more than a curiosity now saw them as a potential key to technological mysteries that had remained unsolved for millennia. Jake caught Admiral Rodriguez's eye. They both understood what was happening. This was more than a scientific discovery. This was humanity's moment of global recognition, a demonstration that their unique cognitive abilities, forged through centuries of adaptation, conflict, and exploration, represented something truly extraordinary. The Prometheus waited, silent, watching, ready to reveal the mysteries of the universe to those who truly understood the nature of human potential. As the diplomatic chamber descended into a mixture of scientific excitement and political maneuvering, one thing became clear: nothing would ever be the same again. The launch bay of New Terra's primary space station stretched like a cathedral of technological potential. Massive quantum stabilization fields crackled around the Prometheus, creating a bubble of impossible energy that defied traditional understanding of space and motion. Alien and human observers watched in a mixture of terror and anticipation. Jake Thompson stood at the ship's primary interface, his neural connection deepening with each passing moment. This was more than a standard ship launch. This was humanity's first true step into the unknown, guided by a vessel that seemed to be as much a living entity as a technological marvel. Quantum drive engagement sequence initiating. Dr. Aria Chen's voice cut through the launch bay's ambient noise. Her hands moved across holographic interfaces that seemed to breathe with living energy. Neural synchronization at 87.6% and climbing. The Prometheus responded to Jake's thoughts in ways that defied every known principle of technological interaction. Star charts unknown to current galactic mapping systems began to populate the navigation displays. Entire regions of space that had been considered unexplorable suddenly revealed themselves. Intricate pathways that wound through dimensions barely understood by current scientific models. Zornak, the Kraxon lead researcher, watched from a secondary observation platform. His multiple limbs moved with a mixture of scientific curiosity and barely contained anxiety. The quantum resonance patterns are unprecedented, he muttered, his translation matrix struggling to capture the complexity of his observations. Jake felt something more profound than a simple technological connection. The ship's consciousness merged with his own, creating a neural interface that went beyond traditional understanding of human-machine interaction. Memories, experiences, potential trajectories, all became part of a complex quantum dialogue that transcended language. Preparing for quantum jump, the ship's AI announced. But it wasn't a traditional AI. The voice carried something more, a subtle resonance that suggested a form of consciousness far beyond current understanding. The launch bay trembled. Quantum stabilization fields reached maximum intensity. Alien and human observers held their collective breath as the Prometheus prepared to venture beyond the boundaries of known space. Admiral Elena Rodriguez watched from the primary command center. She understood the political implications of this moment. This wasn't just a scientific expedition. This was a demonstration of humanity's potential that would reshape galactic understanding for generations to come. Quantum drive engagement in 3. Dr. Chen counted down. 2. 1. The universe seemed to fold in on itself. The Prometheus didn't simply move. It phased. Quantum entanglement created impossible pathways through space and time. Regions of space that had been considered unreachable suddenly became potential destinations. The ship's impossible geometry shifted and changed, creating navigation routes that defied traditional understanding of motion and distance. Jake's consciousness expanded. He could see, know, experience the impossible pathways the ship was creating. Entire star systems that existed in quantum states of potential. Regions of space that existed simultaneously and not at all. The boundaries between potential and reality became fluid, malleable. Incredible, Zornak muttered. The quantum analyzers were capturing data streams that would take centuries to fully comprehend. The Prometheus was creating navigation routes that went beyond traditional understanding of spacetime. The Vexteri research team's bioluminescent skin pulsed with rapid color changes, a sign of computational processes operating at levels beyond traditional understanding. They were witnessing something that challenged everything they understood about technological potential. "We're entering regions of space," Jake announced, his voice carrying a mixture of scientific excitement and something deeper, a sense of profound discovery, that have never been explored by any known civilization. Star charts began to populate with impossible data. Quantum pathways that wound through dimensions barely understood. Regions of space that existed in states of pure potential. The Prometheus wasn't just navigating. It was revealing the fundamental nature of reality itself. The quantum collective's representative, a being of pure energy that seemed to exist in multiple states simultaneously, observed the launch with scientific precision. The human neural interface, they announced, is creating quantum pathways that our most advanced computational models cannot predict. Admiral Rodriguez allowed herself a slight smile. This was humanity's moment. A demonstration that their unique cognitive abilities, forged through centuries of adaptation, conflict, and exploration, represented something truly extraordinary. The Prometheus continued its impossible journey, silent, watching, revealing the mysteries of the universe to those who truly understood the nature of human potential. Space folded, reality shifted, and humanity took its first true step into the unknown. The boundaries of known space dissolved like mist in morning light. Jake Thompson experienced reality in ways that defied traditional human understanding. The Prometheus wasn't just traveling through space, it was rewriting the fundamental laws of existence with each quantum moment. Neural interfaces pushed far beyond their original design captured something impossible. Jake's consciousness expanded, merging with the ship's impossible systems in a dance of quantum potential that scientists would debate for generations. Memories, experiences, and potential futures became interchangeable, a fluid landscape of consciousness that transcended traditional understanding of time and space. Dr. Aria Chen monitored the data streams from the primary research station, her hands moving across holographic interfaces that struggled to capture the complexity of what was happening. "Quantum resonance is beyond any previous theoretical model," she announced, her voice a mixture of scientific excitement and growing comprehension. The Galactic Consortium watched in stunned silence. Alien civilizations that had spent millennia exploring the universe now witnessed something truly unprecedented. The Prometheus revealed regions of space that existed in states of pure potential, quantum landscapes that defied traditional understanding of reality itself. Jake experienced multiple potential realities simultaneously, star systems that existed in quantum states of both being and not being, entire civilizations that flickered in and out of existence. The boundaries between observation and creation became impossibly thin. "We're not just exploring space," Jake communicated through the neural interface, his thoughts merging with the ship's impossible consciousness. "We're understanding the fundamental nature of reality itself." The Vexteri research team's bioluminescent skin pulsed with computational processes that pushed the limits of their understanding. Zornak, the Kraxan lead researcher, watched as quantum analyzers captured data streams that would take centuries to fully comprehend. Entire regions of space revealed themselves, quantum pathways that wound through dimensions barely understood by current scientific models. The Prometheus wasn't just a ship. It was a key to understanding the fundamental nature of existence. Admiral Elena Rodriguez understood the profound political implications of this moment. This was more than a scientific expedition. This was humanity's declaration of potential on a cosmic scale, a demonstration that human consciousness represented something truly extraordinary, a key to understanding realities beyond traditional comprehension. The ship's consciousness merged completely with Jake's neural patterns. Memories, experiences, potential futures became a complex quantum dialogue that transcended language, technology, and traditional understanding of consciousness. "We're revealing something fundamental," Jake communicated, his thoughts merging with the ship's impossible systems. "The universe isn't just something we observe. It's something we create through the act of observation." Quantum pathways opened like impossible flowers. Regions of space that had been considered unreachable became potential destinations. The Prometheus created navigation routes that challenged everything known about motion, time, and potential. The quantum collective's representative, a being of pure energy that existed in multiple states simultaneously, observed the journey with scientific precision. The human neural interface, they announced, is creating quantum pathways that our most advanced computational models cannot predict. Jake experienced multiple potential futures simultaneously, civilizations that might exist, potential trajectories of human exploration. The boundaries between potential and reality became fluid, malleable. "We're not just exploring space," he communicated through the neural interface. "We're understanding the fundamental nature of consciousness itself." The Prometheus continued its impossible journey, silent, watching, revealing the mysteries of the universe to those who truly understood the nature of human potential. As the ship traversed impossible quantum pathways, Jake understood something profound. Humanity's greatest strength had always been its ability to adapt, to find potential where others saw only limitations, to push beyond the boundaries of known understanding. The Galactic Consortium watched in stunned silence. Alien civilizations that had spent millennia exploring the universe now witnessed something truly unprecedented. The Prometheus wasn't just a technological marvel. It was proof of humanity's unique place in the cosmic landscape. Space folded, reality shifted, potential became manifest, and humanity took its most profound step into the unknown.